happy to see you again for a new Brocante haul. I've collected quite a few new pieces that I really love and thought would be interesting to show you and share a bit of history about. So let's get started. I'll start with the smallest piece, which is this little clamshell box, silver plated. It's really neat and cute. I love anything clamshell, I think, as you know. So that had to come home with me. Lovely wooden tray, hand painted, late 19th century. I really, really love it. It's got the tulips, what looks like roses. I found this lot of knives. My husband has started working on them, so I'll show you the knives first. Look how gorgeous this is. It's not ebony, but it is wood that has been blackened to look like ebony. It's got metal inserts on the handle part with dots and tiny, tiny stars. There's a bigger star here. And these two pieces are PowerShell inserts. And it's the same on the other side. These knives are incredible. They are 19th century and the blade is steel. And I'll show you when we got them. The blade was in this stage. I don't know if you can see. So my husband has started working on them here, but all there, you can see it's all rusty. This is how he got them back. So it's still got like a little oxidation black here that we couldn't get rid of, but it's pretty good. And how he did it was by using a very fine sandpaper that you can wet, and it's special for metal. And so he just carefully and very gently sanded each blade. And with steel, once it's sanded and cleaned, you want to coat them with a very thin layer of oil. So you just put oil on a cotton cloth, and then you just gently wipe the blade with the cloth to grease it basically, so that the steel will no longer rust. The other thing is, you don't want to use steel knives for your lettuce. For example, in France, we've got a course for our meals, and after the main, we usually have just plain lettuce leaves with vinaigrette. And traditionally, we don't use knives to eat lettuce because historically knives had blades, either steel or silver, that would oxidize with the vinaigrette. Now this, ta-da! It's a silverware bowl on a pedestal with a plate, separate plate. I really don't know what its use could have been, because usually these are way bigger and it's for cooling white wine. So you just fill them up with ice and then put your bottles of white wine. But this is too small for a bottle of wine. So I think I'm just going to use it as a decorative piece, empty on a chest of drawers. Or in summer, I'm thinking for a garden party, having fruits coming out of it might look pretty nice. I mean, the options are always endless. I'll always find something to do with it. Very, very happy to have found this plate. This is Moustiers. You may have noticed in other videos that in my kitchen, I have a wall with lots of white plates hung up on the wall. That's something that I started, honestly, 2 or 3 years ago. And I only put Moustiers plates on that wall. Moustiers is a faïencerie in the south, and these plates are all 18th century. They are getting harder and harder to come by, and I've literally collected them over the years to do the kitchen wall. And I'm being a little bit particular and only going for Moustiers because as a dealer, I know how hard they are to find. I know the value that they hold. They are quite sought after pieces. The ones I have, I only ever bought them from other dealers. This is the first time I'm finding one from just a non-dealer person. So I was so happy. This may just look like a white plate to most people, but to me it's a gem. There's a new Brocante in Sainte. It just opened, and so I went in and fell in love with this painting. It's a gouache. When I saw it, I was enamored immediately because I think it's really fresh. It's got anemones. It's one of my favorite flowers. I love the colors on it. And when I saw it, I immediately thought that it just made me think of my daughter. I came home, and the funny thing is, it was just lying in a corner, hadn't showed it to her yet, and she just stumbled upon it and was like, wow, it's so pretty. So I was really happy, and I can't wait to hang it in her room and surprise her with it. I haven't told her that I was going to put it in her room, so she will be pretty happy, I think. And I think the technique is really good on it. Don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's just a copper pot with a big bunch of anemones. These, that's a simple thing that you can find in Brocante in France. They're old hemp dish towels. I wanted to share a little bit about the history of these because usually you find stashes of them at Brocante and they have never been used. I found these, they are brand new. They are very old, but brand new, never been used. It was in a box and it was just piles of them. And you can see they're still starched, have never been open or unfolded. It was, yeah. And that's how you can find a lot of old linen still around Brocante, unused, brand new condition. I found these, but they were not folded this way. The initials were hidden and everything was starched. Like I could just tell it was in perfect condition, so I didn't even bother opening them. I just got them. And when I got home to wash them, I was so happy to realize that these are my initials, AF. And that was such a happy surprise that it doesn't happen very often. I don't often find things with my initials. And there's a bit of history about these letters on the dishcloth. It's that historically, young ladies would prepare their trousseau before getting married, their trousseau de mariage. And part of it was that they brought linen into the marriage and the household, so they would spend months, years embroidering dishcloth, tablecloth, tea towels, napkins, pillowcases, sheets, and it was a real labor of love and patience, and they just patiently embroidered all of their linen. And there's a difference. I'm going to go and grab one and I'll come back. Okay, I grabbed two, but there is a difference between this one, that's a tea towel, and that one. Usually the linen for the household maintenance as such was cross-stitched in red. And we call this chiffré because it's just letters, chiffré, whereas the lovely napkins that you would use for your table were embroidered in white, and this is called monogrammé. It's a monogram because the letters have more style to them. So there's just a difference in the words we use, monogrammé, chiffré. I found this lovely lamp. I don't know if you remember when I went to Brocante Pascal. Well, I went back there. I go back there all the time. But he had this incredible bamboo lamp. And I really love anything bamboo. I think it's another little obsession. And so I stole one of the lampshades I'd made for another lamp and put it there because I thought the two together looked really good. At Pascal, I also found this little chair. This is typical 1920s work, beautiful craftsmanship. I really like it almost looks like a clover leaf here. I like how it's weaved with color pieces. It just looks really good. I'll quickly show you where I put these pieces around the house. And then I thought it might be interesting to share with you how I polish silverware. It's a question that has come back often in the comment section. So yeah, I'm going to take the time to share the products I use, the techniques and the advice I can give. I'll just share what works for me, and if it can help others, then perfect. Hello again. So we are now in my kitchen, and hopefully I can share how I clean and polish silverware so that you get your pieces nice and shiny. First of all, want to cover whatever area you are going to be working on with a nice soft cotton cloth. Basically, the idea is that we want to protect the silverware at all times so that it's not rubbing against something hard, and things can get messy and everything's quite dark. So I like to just cover whatever surface I'm working on and wear gloves. As for cleaning supplies, you just basically want to look for the softest cloth you can find. Avoid brushes at any cost. Avoid anything abrasive. So you just want really soft. It can be cotton. This is microfiber cloth that works very well. In this paste that I'm using, they provide a little sponge that is very fine and soft, and that is nice as well, but not any random sponge. I prefer to use cream, so you can find these in different brands. That is the good old-fashioned for cleaning silver. You use silver cream and you just polish with elbow grease. And I'm also using this silver bath for intricate pieces, so I'll show you how that works. But right now, let's start with the paste. This is the brand called Bistro. I don't know if it's available worldwide, but I think any silver cream polish will do. And I know we're all looking for magic recipes to clean silverware in an instant, but I think just rubbing is the way to go. It is the good old-fashioned way, the way it has been done for centuries. It's not actually that hard. And what I like to do with my paste is add a little bit of water or just dampen the sponge or the cloth that I'm using to rub. That helps a lot. This is why we're putting something to protect here, so that you can turn your piece any which way you want, work on it without fearing that you are going to damage it. Once I've finished cleaning my piece, put my sponge away and I use a microfiber cloth or a soft cotton cloth, and I just keep polishing and removing the leftover product on my piece. I'm not doing it for this piece because it's not going to come in contact with food, but if it was to, you would definitely want to rinse it under water. Don't use any detergent, but just a good rinse. Ta-da! Now I'm going to show you how I use the silver bath. I've seen that this brand is available worldwide. I highly recommend it. It works really well for me, and it's basically a container full of liquid. It's got a net here that you can put your pieces in. Let it sit, and it usually does the trick. I find this very useful if you have intricate pieces like this one, because it goes in the tiny details. I'm going to be careful with these utensils because this part is bone and this part is brass, and I don't want that to go into this mixture. So I'm not going to just dip it, I'm going to dip and hold right at the junction, making sure nothing touches the bone part. I'm just going to wait for a few minutes. Soaking time for this product really depends on your silverware piece. I've got things that clean in an instant and others that I need to really leave in for 5-10 minutes sometimes. So it's really up to you to check regularly what the pieces look like. See, this is already starting to work, but I'm going to leave it in a little longer. So I think this is good now. Yeah, it's so much better. So I will now grab my cloth and shine it, because I think the polishing with the hand and just a simple cloth is what brings the shine to silver. Just going to go here, and I'll just carry on there. This lamp really needs some love. I don't think there's any miracle solution when it comes to silver apart from being passionate and knowing that when you choose these pieces, that is what comes with it, and thinking that you are just part of this object's history, that you have decided to take it on, look after it for a while until the next person comes along and looks after it for a while. I quite like to think of it that way. Using the sponge to apply some product, but for the small areas, going at it with the fingers is definitely more efficient. And I'm going into each indent of this column with the tip of my finger, just rubbing. Voila, for that lamp. I'm not going to be fussy, I'm just going to leave this piece because it's hidden. Et voila! That's looking so much better.